Have I been mugged by the Scissor Sisters whilst in Barcelona? Do I own a piece of the original flooring from the Lead Mill, which was a music venue in Sheffield that was sold off when it was closed down? Or, as a young boy, was I chased out of a field whilst eating a picnic by a bull?
I once helped out at the New York Marathon. I once saw the Pope in the Vatican City, and I proposed to my wife at the top of the London Eye.
I lived in the USA for several years and worked on the banks of the Ohio River. I got to the top 20 of the Bake Off. I met some of the cast of The Commitments and was invited onto the tour bus.
I've had 3 final written warnings in my work career. I once told someone I was an underwear model for a catalogue to get a date. And I can burp at will.
Okay, I can walk on my hands, I read a book a week, and I've been on police interceptors.
I think the world's changed a lot recently, and I think there's a bit of a collision of the planets almost. The world changed through COVID, people's expectations changed. There's a new generation that comes into the workforce that thinks differently to people of my generation. And I'm not saying that's wrong, by the way, it's just different. Technology drives everything to be faster and more instant. AI has completely transformed the way that lots of people relate. And I think, generally speaking, the world is a bit more confrontational now. So I think the thing that has changed the most is the way that lots of employees interact with their employers. I did a bit of Harry Kane there. Armed and driven by AI predominantly, and that can make it very difficult. It makes it more difficult for us as experienced HR professionals, but it certainly makes it more difficult for your average employer.
It's personal relationships. I think there's a lot to be said for AI, the information age, that sort of thing. But I genuinely think it's personal relationships. With what social media has done and made people a lot more connected, it's a lot easier to communicate now than it ever has been, which means it's a lot easier to communicate badly. And I think there's certainly an element of people forgetting to talk to other people like humans rather than what they do digitally. And certainly from a work point of view, we tend to see a lot of challenges and grievances that have gone in, less because process isn't followed, but more because the personal interactions between 2 people or 3 people.
If I'm looking at it from an employer's point of view, it's the unknown. We've obviously got a lot of changes going on with the Employment Rights Act. There's a few more coming down the line, and I think it's recognising that that's challenging for business. It felt as though everything was going to come in on one day, kind of bringing them down a little bit and saying, look, no, it isn't going to be all at once. It is going to be staggered, and this is what we're going to do to support you. But yeah, if we look at it from that point of view, from the employer's point of view, there are a lot of changes, and it's knowing how to deal with them in the best way while supporting, your employees.
Biggest challenge. You never know what's coming at you. You're dealing with people, and you never be surprised what people are capable of doing or not doing in the workplace or even outside the workplace, and having to deal with that like that, and I'll give advice on that when you're not seeing the full story quite often. That's a challenge. I find that quite challenging.
All the changes that have come in recently, that's the biggest issue we've got at the moment, because organisations are having to quickly update all their policies and procedures and their systems in order to accommodate it.
No.
Why?
They're awful.
They're the worst things in the world. I don't know who thinks they look good.
No.
Why?
It's never been my thing. And I know they're varied. It's nice to have a variety, but I don't know. You've got to be stylish as well, even when you're
Probably not.
Okay,
Shouldn't
why?
even ask.
God, no, they're disgusting. They're the worst things that have ever been created. I hate Crocs so much that for my birthday, my friends got me some Crocs and decorated them.
Without doubt, get the right foundations in place. If you haven't got decent contracts, decent policies, decent processes, and the ability to have just normal conversations with your people, everything else becomes much more difficult.
Remember, people are people. Remember that the people that will be working with you are just there to make sure that they can support their families. As much as we all like to think that work is the be all and end all, let's be honest, it's not. So trying to remember that that's just people that are coming into work is I think really important. Having that one switch, that one moment can fundamentally change the way you look at having employees.
Really open and honest with employees and nipping any issues in the bud before they get to something that is bigger. A simple conversation goes a long way. Sometimes it's that fear of tackling something, which actually the sooner you do it with a simple conversation, the easier it is, and it kind of clears the air. It's one of those things where sometimes people don't actually realise they're doing something, just to, say, don't know if you realise this is what's going on. It can just solve that situation. Whatever it might be, intervene early, set the kind of stage going forward, and everybody's clear.
Read the room and listen to what the people are looking for, what makes them happy. So not from a work point of view, but what makes them happy, what's the environment like. That's what I would say, absolutely.
And would you say that you've worked in environments where that hasn't happened?
Yes. There's some places the expectation is you work on and on and on. If you're loud, if you laugh or anything like that, that's frowned upon. Small requests are declined because of the environment and the culture you're in. Being afraid to make mistakes. You shouldn't be afraid to make mistakes. It's how you learn. So that sort of environment, I think a good employer would see that, recognise what's going on and react to it.
Training's probably the most important thing, and also being able to assess who makes a good leader, because somebody might be really good at their job operationally, but actually just because they're good at their job operationally doesn't mean that when you move them into a management position they're still going to be good, or they're going to be good at leading a team. And so I think people and organisations need to be assessing that a lot better, and if somebody's not got all the skills, we need to be looking at training for them.
Despite my innate love of pizza, and I do eat pineapple on pizza, I just want to say that, it would be, I love Greek food. Can't narrow it down to a particular dish because it's all delicious. What would make it special? It would be sitting by the sea, lovely warm weather, nice glass of wine with a beautiful Greek meal with great company.
That's really easy for me. A full English breakfast. Like no matter what time of day, I don't mind. But it has to be sausages, bacon, fried egg. None of this scrambled egg nonsense. Black pudding has to be on it. If it's not, then it's against the law. Tinned tomatoes. I don't want fresh tomatoes. It's got to be tinned tomatoes. Beans, and then ideally we'll have some fried bread. Like the lardier, the better.
Mushrooms?
I ain't got mushroom for that.
It'd be a big old steak. What's not to love about a steak? A good steak. Medium rare, all the way.
What would you have with your steak?
Fries, mushrooms, fried egg, Worcestershire sauce.
It would probably be Rogan Josh with pilau rice.
Be a barbecue chicken and bacon pizza with onions and peppers and loads of barbecue sauce and cheese. Yum. Made by my brother, yeah. Pizza Slice Guy, guys.